Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. And this is all about a guy who's about 30 years old, and he's going to share his story and break it down to different points in his life where, because of his bad childhood, this guy grew up in a broken home, and this guy has definite depression problems, low self-esteem, low self-worth, low self-confidence, all that stuff there. It definitely has a negative impact, obviously, on how he sees himself, what he tolerates from other people, and the type of situations that he allows into his life. And you're going to see this guy obviously makes a lot of mistakes, in particular the type of woman he attracts into his life and he lets in and gets into a relationship with, okay? And because, as the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. So he attracts a woman with just as many problems as he does, and it doesn't make the situation better, makes it worse. And I'm doing this, guys, to show you that in this story, and you're going to see how it ends, that even though you could obviously start off in life with a lot of problems, low self-worth, no confidence, depression problems, all that crap, eventually, when you realize that you're tired of that, you're tired of that life, you can make changes to better your situation. I mean, what you've done, you've done. You can't change the past, but you can certainly change your present and future, okay? And, of course, I'm going to talk about how, basically you attract certain people in your life based on who you are and your mindset, the law of attraction, that type of stuff, okay? Some people think that's a bunch of crap. I think it's dead on. I've seen that in my life, and I think it's completely dead on here. So I'm going to go through this, guys. And any of you guys in a situation kind of like him, or you've gone through it, bad times, and feel like you can't move out of a bad situation, you always can. So it starts off, "Hey SSM, I've been watching your videos for a while, and I wanted to tell my story as I hope to get some advice and be an example for younger people going through something similar. I have broken this into age groups to help you out. Looking back at my past, I see all the mistakes that I made and wish I could go back and undo it all. However, this is real life, so I'm now working on improving myself. Yeah, there isn't one person walking the earth that doesn't wish they could have a time machine that could go back in time and go back and fix a lot of the mistakes they made. Well, no such thing exists, so until one is invented, basically all we can do is just learn from our mistakes. That's the only silver lining you can have to mistakes that you made. You learn from them and grow, and hopefully share that knowledge with somebody else so they don't make the same boneheaded mistakes that you did. But we all make mistakes, believe me. I made plenty of them, okay? We can learn from them, but also we can always improve ourselves, always. So he's going to break this into age groups. So he's going to start off at his 18 through 19 years old stage. He says, so when I was this age, I was a broken man. Growing up, I had no self-worth or self-esteem and no confidence. I also struggled with a broken family. The parents separated when I was 2 years old. I was without a job for a year, and while I was unemployed, I did a free study covered by the government. This happened when I was early to mid-19. While I was studying there, I met a woman who was also broken, but we got along well. She is 25 years older. So right there, that's a giant red flag. If she is just as screwed up as you are, that's the last thing you need, okay? But if you're putting out a certain vibe into the world, a certain energy into the universe, if you will, you're going to attract people that are like you. That's either going to be like you or kind of reinforce your own view on yourself. So he attracted this woman into his life, 25 years older, I might add, because she's just as screwed up as he was. He says, we started going out and seeing each other, having lots of sex, as you do. And ultimately, it turned into a relationship. So he was having fun hooking up with a cougar. Now, I got no problem if he was that age, 18, 19 years old, and he's having a lot of fun hooking up with some older woman. As long as she's good looking, I don't care. I got no problem with that. The problem is if she's got a lot of freaking problems and it's going to come into your life. And worse yet, he got into a relationship with her. Bad idea. If it was purely just for hooking up purposes, hey, okay. But in terms of actual relationship with her, she's that much older, it's going to bring some issues. So they started having a relationship, and he says, eventually I moved into her house and met her two existing teenagers, only 2 and 4-ish years younger than I am. We stayed together for a while. So, big mistake. As it wasn't bad enough that she had problems and he got a relationship with her, he moved in with her. Big giant mistake. And this woman has teenage children that aren't much younger than this guy, okay? You want to talk about awkward. So believe me, she's got her issues. Okay? Trust me there. How do you think that's going to go with her teenage children in the house seeing mom hooking up with a guy not much older than them? During this time, she was During this time, she was always untrusting of me for cheating, as her ex cheated on her. And I would have to go through the hoops to prove that I was faithful, including getting a tattoo with her name on it on my back. Yes, I did this, and I've hated it ever since. Well, smack you in the face right now for doing that, dude. I don't care how young you were or how depressed or unhappy. No guy should ever do that. If you're watching this, never get anybody's name on your freaking body on a tattoo. I really hope this guy has gotten rid of this tattoo, or at least will in the near future if he hasn't already. Never do that. But right here, see this? At first, everything was cool. They were obviously hooking up all the time and everything. Then he moves in with her, and then everything changes. She's untrusting of him, a lot of drama, and he said he had to go through hoops, and to prove his faithful, get a tattoo. I guarantee that was a giant test to see if he would actually go through with this. And what happened? You're going to see here that all of a sudden, all the fun he was having with her initially stopped. Okay, because he was being compliant and obedient, and she had him exactly where she wanted him. Yes, I did this, and I've hated it ever since. I will get it removed once I have finished with the debts I've accrued due to not being supported with the mental issues I had before and during the relationship. So he still has it. Dude, get rid of that tattoo. Pronto. When you're done watching this video, find the money, find a way, get rid of that tattoo. Okay, now he breaks it down to when he was 20 through 29 years old. He says, I stuck in the relationship and continued to work while she stayed at home on a single mother's benefit. Although I was never happy about this, she always said she would take the fall if the government found out. In other words, she's not working, she's staying at home and milking taxpayers for everything it's worth by getting free money by claiming a certain thing. Yeah, real nice. The hell's that? A few years into the relationship, we had a kid. Oh my God, man. What the hell are you doing? And I was not ready for this. However, she had convinced me to have one as she was getting old and might not have kids in 5 years because of menopause. That turned out wrong. Ha ha. Well, she already had 2 kids. She doesn't need any more. And again, she's not working. Who's going to support those kids? She had that kid because she wanted to keep you locked in her life, okay? Even though she obviously wasn't very happy with you, she at least had somebody. That was her way of trapping this guy. Mark my words. Eventually, I offered her a ring, although we were never married, thank God. Not religious, although she is Catholic, ha. Of course he offered her a ring. Of course. By the time we were 5 years into the relationship, I had received almost no love, treated like a kid, and sex was barely once a month, average. Yes, I went a few years during my nearly 10-year relationship to only get action around 12 times a year. I guarantee you, him moving in with her and being compliant by proving and going through hoops for her to show that he wasn't cheating, and of course getting that stupid tattoo on his back, I guarantee that completely turned her off so much that basically she didn't want to touch him, but she wanted to have somebody around to help pay the bills because he was working while she was at home collecting benefits from taxpayers. But again, he was young, he didn't know any better, and the thing is this, guys, I mean, I don't mean to be picking on this guy, give him a hard time, but this needs to be said. I have to say these things, okay, because guys, as men, we need a kick in the ass from time to time and to make us wake up. That's just how we are, right? That's why coaches yell at the players during games and all that in practice. But the thing is this guy was young. But this is a perfect example. What happens when you have a guy that has extremely low confidence, low self-worth, who doesn't think much of himself? He'll just take anything. He'll put up with it because he doesn't think he's worth anything, okay? So I encourage you guys to do everything you can to become better yourselves, become more valuable, okay? And these actions of self-improvement will make you feel better about yourself. You'll act better, and you won't tolerate crap from anybody. Okay, and you certainly won't tolerate mistreatment, and you won't get into situations and relationships, whether friendships or business relationships or romantic relationships, with people that are going to just suck all the energy out of you and just wear you down. Okay, but guys that don't think they're worth much, they're going to do this, and it goes the same way with women, I might add. He goes on. Did I think of stepping out of the relationship? Yes, but I stuck around because I didn't want my son to have the same issues I went through as a kid. But right there, what does that say? He stuck around with this crazy woman who was using him and mistreating him, and there was no love in the relationship, nothing good about it, because he didn't want his son to go through the same crap that he did. Guess what? The son is in the same probably toxic environment that you were in. Okay, because he witnesses mom and dad, they obviously don't love each other. He sees how dad is worn down, no self-esteem, no self-confidence. I guarantee you that son, if he stayed in the environment longer, would probably grow up to be just like that, right? So I get the guy was trying to obviously help out his, he was trying to help out the son because he didn't want to like break up the marriage, but, or not the marriage, but the relationship, but it was toxic already. The best thing he could have done for the son was take him the hell out of there, get custody of the son, and then raise his son right. But the guy, he can't raise the son to be a strong guy until this guy works on himself. Now it goes through 29 through 30 years old. He says, eventually, I got to the point where I could no longer cope with all my depression, mental health, lack of self-worth, lack of self-confidence, and all that. So I ended the relationship and moved out. Good for you, dude. I met someone else during this time, but things didn't work out due to the virus. That might be for another story. I'm now being more assertive with my ex and telling my ex how she looks after our son. She has been doing a shit job. Well, big surprise there. Even though I still have a lot of debt, I recently lost my job and have a hard time coping with my mental health issues. I'm taking it one step at a time and I'm becoming a better version of myself. Dude, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. Take it one step at a time, okay? One day at a time. And through these baby steps, if you will, you'll get there, okay? But you can't expect miracles to happen overnight. But most people would even do this, so good for you. He says, I'm doing this to become a better version of myself, including going from 110 kilograms to 100 kilograms in about a month of dieting and exercise. For reference, I was about 70 kilograms before meeting my ex and putting on weight from stress and overfeeding. That's what people do when they're stressed out and depressed. You know, food and alcohol, or food and just sugar drinks, alcohol, or junk food and alcohol, that is an outlet for most people. One of the biggest problems I have as a personal trainer is trying to get my people to change the way their diets. Okay, I can get them to work out with me and push them hard. That's not an issue. Okay, they will do a good job. The issue is when I'm gone from the personal training sessions to get them to actually eat decent food, greatly minimize the alcohol, greatly minimize the sugar drinks, eat healthy, good food. For most of them, a lot of people, I kid you not, as a trainer, because I've been doing this for a while, they'll work out. They'll be happy to work out with me a couple days a week and go do workouts on their own. But God forbid you ask them to change in any way, shape, or form how they go about eating and drinking and all that, and they look at you like you're asking them to give up their firstborn child. I kid you not, because so many people, that is their stress outlet. And until people do that, they're not going to make the kind of changes they really want for their bodies. So good for this guy for definitely doing this. In ending, he says, even though I still have much more to work on, I finally have enough value and respect for myself that I'm making a change. Awesome. I want people to hear this story and know that if you are broken and think no one can love you, then don't fall for the first person who gives you love or has a lot of their own problems like you. Focus on yourself, set goals, and build up that value for yourself. Then find someone who respects you for you if you still want to date. Honestly, I no longer like the idea of long-term relationships. Well, dude, given your experience, I can see why you don't like the idea of long-term relationships. But at the end of the day, if you're a relationship type of guy, if you get a good girl, because there are some good women out there, you just got to look really hard for them and really do a lot of screening before you actually get exclusive with them. That can add a lot of value to your life. I'm not saying go move in with them, and I'm not saying you have to marry them. I'm just saying you can be, just dating her and she's dating you, hopefully. But there are good ones out there, so I wouldn't rule out all long terms forever. Just you got to get the right ones. But before you can even do that, you got to keep working on yourself. You got to get yourself to be in a place where you don't need, and I'm going to emphasize need, a relationship. You welcome it and you can have fun with it, but you don't need it. Okay, you want to be in a position to need anything. And you're completely comfortable being on your own, focusing on yourself, your goals, improving yourself, your son, because your son's a top priority, dude. Do that. The question I would like to ask you, now that I'm working on being more active, I want to get a personal trainer to help motivate and keep me on the point with my exercise. What things should I look for when finding a personal trainer to find one that will work best for me? For example, I have a buggered ankle from an accident many years back, so high impact on this is not recommended. Regards. All right, so first I'll give him the advice about the personal trainer, and then I'm going to give some advice about things he can continue to do to better his situation. With regards to a personal trainer, I recommend I would assume you're going to a gym. So if you're going to a gym, most gyms are going to have personal trainers working for them, except for like Planet Fitness or some of those chains like that. And you can see they typically will have a directory of the different trainers that work at the gym. And I would go and I'd read about the different trainers, find out what they specialize in, how long they've been training, all that. And I would look for ones that not only have experience, but would also be a right fit for you personality-wise, okay? Because you can have a trainer that obviously has certifications and everything, has been doing it for a long time and knows their stuff, but if you don't connect with them by their personality, it's not going to work, okay? I'm telling you that right now. For me, as a personal trainer, I'm more of a laid-back personal trainer. When I meet with my clients, believe me, I give them a good workout and I put them through it. But I'm also not a drill sergeant. There are trainers that are like drill sergeants. Okay, that's just not my style. With my clients, we have a good time. Between sets or before the workouts when we're warming up, we're usually talking about what's going on in their lives and having a good time. Most of my clients I've become friends with. I have clients I hang out with, and even clients that I no longer work with, I'm still friends with, okay? Because I'm not cheap, okay? Having a personal trainer is an expensive luxury. So I make it fun. Okay, so if you're someone that will not work with someone that's a bossy drill sergeant type of trainer, that's not for you. So you definitely got to shop around to find the best person that will work with you. Man or woman, I'd recommend a man, to be honest, because most female personal trainers are type A personalities. They're very intense, they're very bossy and pushy, and that's going to probably I'm guessing it'll probably turn this guy off. So I'd work with a guy, to be honest with you. And then just go from there. But you got to stick with it. And working with a personal trainer is an investment. They're not cheap, like I said. Okay, I am on the higher end of prices for personal trainers in my area because I'm good at what I do and I'm booked solid. So I can charge what I want. But definitely find a guy that you click with and can understand your goals and will work with you, and he understands how to break these goals into small steps to get you on your path to where you want to be. And make sure also he teaches you. He doesn't just give you a workout and say, do this. He explains whatever exercise is for. He explains what he's doing, okay? He gives you knowledge along the way. As for helping yourself out in terms of self-improvement, like I said, I would continue on working on yourself. Since you got a lot of mental health issues, I would consider maybe, if you can afford it, see a therapist to help work out some of those things, because a good therapist will definitely help you out. It's worth thinking about. Get rid of that freaking tattoo, dude, of her name on it. Do that right away. Before even hire the personal trainer, get rid of that tattoo. And just remember that now. Also, I want you doing things to help also improve how much money you're making at your job. If you're at a job right now and that's what pays the bills, I want you to be doing what you can to get a better job, either at that company or someplace else. Really doing that. I want you to start saving your money. I want you to look at your budget and find out what areas can you cut to save money and put it away and invest it to grow it. Because the more money you have, you're going to need it for a rainy day. And you got a son, guarantee you there's going to be rainy days and things are going to happen. So you want to have money set aside for him and other problems. And just build your wealth from there. And also work on being a really good dad with your son, being there for him. I'd recommend doing whatever you can once you're in a position to do so to get full custody of that kid. He shouldn't be with her. Absolutely. She's a train wreck. She's going to ruin that kid. Okay? There's no hope for her. There is hope for you, okay? Because you want to do better. You're here writing this email. You're watching my channel looking for guidance and help. So you're on the path to improving yourself. So good for you. Get that kid away from her because you don't need that. And just find out what you can do. If you can't do it now legally, see if you can do it later on. And if you can't do it at all, do everything you can to be a good father to that son, okay? That's all you can do. So anyhow, that is it for today, guys. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know other things that he might be able to do to help him out. If I haven't thought of it, especially for you single fathers out there, this guy will definitely read the comments and it'll help him out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.